Now, the first I want to talk about is very simply the idea of using blockchain tokens of some form in issuing and transferring money using the technology. Now, let's take one step back and look at cryptocurrencies versus the US dollar. So, as an example here, let's just look at generally exchange rates in the world. This is an example of the exchange rate of the euro to the US dollar. And as you can see, there's a fair amount of fluctuations. This covers the time horizon from 2016 to 2020, just for the summer. You can see, the exchange rate was from 95 cents all the way down to 80 cents. Now, this is sizable and it matters for businesses, it matters for people. But let's have a quick look at the exchange rate of Bitcoin to the US dollar over the same time horizon. As you can see here, the fluctuations here are much more extreme. The highest value for Bitcoin was at some point close to $20,000, and the lowest, going in 2019 was actually just under $5,000. Now, of course, if we go all the way to 2016, the price for Bitcoin was, somewhere close to $1,000. So you can see the fluctuations in Bitcoin are extreme. The same holds for ETH, or the cryptocurrency used on the Ethereum network. At some point, the price of ETH was over $1,300, and it has dropped all the way up to just around $100 or so per ETH. So currently, we're at around $400 per ETH, and you can see again there's huge fluctuations with that. Now, if we plot everything here in one line, we look at the returns or the changes relative to the starting point at 2016. You can see how dramatic these changes are. So now let's ask ourselves whether or not we can use cryptocurrency such as it is for money, because I alleged earlier that we wanted to think about how we can transfer money. Now, for money, we have essentially three functions. We have store of value, unit of account, and method of exchange. Why do we care about this? Well, store of value means that you don't need to spend the money immediately upon receiving it in order to be able to use it. Now, of course, tell that to people in Zimbabwe or in Germany in 1923. Where money clearly didn't have the store of value function with hyperinflation. Is it a unit? Then there's the question of unit of account, which means that we don't have to price everything relative to each other. So for instance, if you think of a barter economy where a miller wants to go and buy some tools from a blacksmith, right? So you don't want to have that each knife has to be measured in sacks of flour, right? So now unit of account therefore allows us to price everything with regards to money. And then the final part is the method of exchange. So that means that we can use the money and we don't need what's referred to as a double coincidence of the ones. So say, going back to the example of the miller and the blacksmith, we don't need to have a situation where the miller wants the knife or the blacksmith wants the flour at the same time so that the two of them can meet. Money allows us to basically transfer it around. Now, does that apply to cryptocurrencies? I would argue no.